I'm Victor from Keystone Postcard, and recently we've done a lot of live streams with the world going crazy, and I got a bunch of questions about my setup and my gear, so I figured I'd give a little gear rundown. So with every gear setup, you need a guitar, and for me, a board, and what we run the board into. So I'm going to go over a basic overview right now. If you guys want to know more about each individual piece, you can leave it in the comments and ask questions about it specifically, and maybe I'll do a rundown of each of those pieces. But this is just going to be kind of a brief overview of what my rig is. First thing for me is I needed something that was going to be versatile. I play about 300 plus gigs a year, and I am the quintessential local musician. We do everything from bars, restaurants, to weddings and private parties and clubs. And when I play solo acoustic, which I do a lot of, that same setup was not working for me to play for like weddings, especially because in a wedding setup, we do a lot of songs that need acoustic guitar and a lot of songs that needed electric guitar. And I was taking two separate rigs all the time. I wanted it to be as simple as possible, so I decided to make it as simplistic as I could. And so for me, I wanted versatility. So that's part of my whole thinking behind all of this was versatility. So the things that did that for me, it started with a guitar. The guitar that I chose and that I end up using is a Taylor T5. Now the reason I play this guitar, it's actually a hybrid acoustic and an electric guitar. It has acoustic pickups, it has a 5-switch selector on it, and it does everything from an acoustic sound to a bunch of different electric sounds. There's a bunch of videos on this on a T5. If you want to know more about it, you can search one of those videos. But basically the quick version of it is you can get acoustic sounds out of it as well as distorted electric guitar tones by switching through the pickups. It has a stacked humbucker in the neck, a stacked humbucker in the bridge position, and it also has a body sensor which helps it with the acoustic sound. So for me, that's where it all starts with versatility. I'm able to get basic acoustic tones and also electric sounds. The other change that I made on this is it comes with typically electric guitar strings, and they sound good right out of, I mean, you can run electric strings and it sounds really good, especially for all the electric sounds. But I needed more, especially because most of the stuff that I do is mainly acoustic. So for me, the acoustic sound is much more important. So I put acoustic strings on it. I run Elixir Phosphor bronze strings, and they give a much warmer tone and sound bigger to me. It sounds much more like an acoustic. I sacrificed a little bit on the electric side with the electric tones, but for me, the solo acoustic stuff is a lot of what I do, and I get a lot of that acoustic sound while still being able to get the electric sound using the same setup. So that's the guitar that I use. Then I run the guitar into my pedal board. Now, my pedal board, as most guitar players are, it's a work in progress. It is currently set up as to be my workhorse. This is what I use most of the time, with always stuff that I want to add and take away, but currently this is the setup that I'm using. So down here on the pedal board, we have, first and foremost, everything's on a Temple audio board. I absolutely love these Temple audio boards. As you can see here, it doesn't use typical Velcro. It uses, it's a metal plate with holes, and has bigger holes so you can fit cables through, and smaller holes that it comes with brackets that you put on the backs of your pedals. And the brackets can click into place so you can unscrew them, slide them around, and it's a lot cleaner and lighter, a lot lighter than a typical pedal board, which for me, my back and my soul really enjoy. So on the pedal board, I run from the guitar into a typical tuner pedal. This one's just the Fender tuner pedal, nothing special, just the tuner. And then out of the tuner, I run into the brains of my operation here. I run a Line 6 HX Stomp. Now, I'm not going to get into in depth of how to run it or anything like that. If you need to see a video on that, there are tons of those videos online. Go check out other people explaining what you do. But for me, it's a versatile tool because it allows me to get the acoustic tones that I'm looking for and the electric tones at the same time. I also, when I wanted to play and do the solo acoustic stuff, was really into the idea of looping. But I didn't like the idea of having to carry multiple instruments. I didn't want to have to carry a bass. I didn't want to have to carry a drum machine or drums and a guitar as well, and then set that up and do multiple things, because I've seen guys do that, and it's super cool, and I really like that. But I didn't want to have to do that. I wanted simple, and I wanted versatile. So sticking with simple and versatile, this allows me to get multiple tones quickly. So I can lay down a rhythm track into the next thing in my chain, which is my looper. I run a Pigtronix Infinity looper. It's a dual channel looper. Has 2 channels with a single stop button on it. I love this looper. It works great for what I need. I don't really use the second looper all that often, but the reason that I love this looper so much is because it has a auxiliary out. I play a lot with a percussionist, with drummers, and this allows me to run a separate out that's not in the main line of my my instrument chain. And it's an out just from the looper that I can then run into the mixer and run directly then into my drummer's in-ears. And that makes a humongous difference for them keeping with a looper, because loopers tend to get lost in the mix when you play with a band or a couple pieces, or you start putting electric leads on top of an acoustic rhythm track. So that's been very helpful with playing with a drummer. So I love this looper, but like I said, the HX Stomp runs into this looper. So I can lay down an acoustic track, loop it, and then switch on the HX Stomp to an electric setting, which I have there, and then play an electric lead on top of it with some distortion or however you want to set up your sound, and put it on top. I love the versatility of it because it gives you a bigger sound, and you don't have to switch instruments. All you do is switch pickups on the guitar because I have the T5. It's super simple. I think it sounds great, and it's super helpful. The other thing that I love about this HX Stomp is you can add an expression pedal to it. That's what this is here. I have a line 6. It's actually designed for line 6 by Mission expression pedal, and it works great. You can make it anything basically you want to. It's kind of limitless in terms of what you can make it do. Everything from your basic wahs to a volume pedal, to you can have it change the parameters of your amp and the different effects that you use. It's super cool. I mainly use it as a volume pedal to do volume swells, occasionally as a wah pedal, and then I use it as a booster every now and then, based off the settings that I'm in. But go back there to the acoustic setting. So that's connected directly to the Stomp. It's not actually in the chain, which is kind of cool. Oh, cancel. This little pedal over here is a extension of the Infinity Looper. It's so the looper itself has, like I said, the 2 loopers and then the stop button, but it doesn't have an undo button. That's what this extension does. It gives me an undo, so I can lay down like an acoustic track and then do like a drum beat banging on my guitar, and then I can take the drum beat away and then bring it back. Or if tends to happen a lot to me, I make a mistake laying down a track, I can undo just the last track that I laid down and not have to undo the whole thing and start over by using that. So that's what this is. This is just an extension of the Infinity Looper. And then from the Infinity Looper, I run out into just the DI box. I just use, currently I'm using a Behringer active DI box, which has been worked great for me. So it's a dual channel DI, because I'll run out, like I said, the auxiliary earlier for the drummer. I can plug both of them into one DI box and then run 2 outs to my mixer. And that's it. I run this directly into my mixer. We run a QSC Touchmix, and I run 2 channels directly from my pedal board into the mix. One for my main front of house sound. The other one is for the monitors for the drummer. And that's pretty much it. It's a super simple setup. The whole thing is powered by an MXR ISO brick, which I really like. I used it originally to power the HX Stomp, but I was having some power issues, so I switched and now run the power supply that came with the HX Stomp. And so I have 2 plugs then. I have the MXR that plugs in, and I have the HX Stomp that plugs in. And that's pretty much it, other than the Duo. I forgot about this one. So I also run an iPad because I do a lot of solo acoustic shows, like I said, and we do a ton of songs, and I'm terrible at lyrics, and it's just easier with an iPad. I recommend all musicians use them for your ability to add so much more very quickly. But this just controls my iPad. It can page up and page down for my iPad, so I can do it with my feet and not have to touch my iPad while I'm doing a song. That's the basic rundown, and here I'll give you some examples then of what it sounds like and how I use it. So I take the guitar, runs directly, like I said, into the Fender, through the HX Stomp, into the Infinity Looper, into the DI, and then into the mixer. One of the things that I also like is I can turn the bass up when I want to do the drums on the T5, which helps it give it that bassier sound. And that's pretty much it. That's the rundown. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to ask, or any ideas to make it better, feel free to put those in the comments below. Like, hopefully, and subscribe our page, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Thanks, guys. We'll see you around soon.